February 19, 2014. Mountain View, California. A man drives up to a drab government building. He gets out of the car. He walks to the front door. He takes out a pen. And he signs a piece of paper. That paper was worth $19 billion. The building he signed it on? Was the same welfare office where he used to stand in line as a teenager waiting for food stamps. His name is Jan Koum. And you used the thing he built every single day. This is the story nobody tells you about the man behind WhatsApp. Jan Koum was born in 1976 in a small village outside Kyiv, Ukraine. During the Soviet Union. His house had no hot water. No central heating. His parents spoke carefully on the phone because they knew the government was listening. That fear of being watched, recorded, reported was the air Jan breathed every single day of his childhood. And it would shape everything he built later. In 1992, Jan was 16 years old. His mother made a decision. They were leaving. Anti-Semitic violence was rising in Ukraine. The Soviet Union had collapsed. The future felt like a wall with no door. So Jan and his mother packed what they could and flew to Mountain View, California. His father was supposed to follow. He never did. He died before he could leave. Jan arrived in America at 16 years old. No English. No money. No father. Just his mother and whatever came next. Their first home in America was a small 2-bedroom apartment. His mother found work as a babysitter. Jan got a job sweeping floors at a grocery store. To make ends meet, they stood in line at the welfare office down the road. Food stamps. Government housing assistance. His mother was diagnosed with cancer not long after they arrived. Jan was a teenager with a sick mother, no father, and no money in a country whose language he was still learning. Most people in that position give up. Jan went to the library. He couldn't afford computer classes. He couldn't afford a tutor. So he walked to the local used bookstore, picked up donated programming manuals, and taught himself to code. No school. No teacher. No roadmap. Just Jan and the books and whatever time he had left after sweeping grocery store floors. By the time he enrolled at San Jose State University, he was already better than most of his classmates. And Silicon Valley was about to find out. In 1997, Jan landed a job at Yahoo, one of the biggest tech companies in the world at the time. He was so good that Yahoo's own co-founder convinced him to drop out of university and join full-time. And that's where he met the other half of this story. Brian Acton. A Stanford graduate. Experienced engineer. Sharp mind. The two became close. They didn't just work together, they thought the same way. Both of them were sick of what the internet was becoming. Full of ads. Full of noise. Full of companies treating users like a product to be sold. After 9 years at Yahoo, both of them felt it. That itch you can't scratch inside someone else's company. On Halloween 2007, they both quit. Then they both applied to Facebook. And Facebook rejected them both. Jan Koum, the man who would eventually sell to Facebook for $19 billion, couldn't even get a job there. It's 2009. Jan has no job. No income. He's watching his savings shrink every month. Then he sees the iPhone. And something clicks. Not I want to build a cool app. But a real, specific problem he needed solved. He wanted to message his friends back in Ukraine without paying international SMS charges. Without being tracked. Without ads in his face. Simple. Private. Free. He thought, if I need this, millions of people need this. He called it WhatsApp. Because it sounded like what's up. And that was the whole point. Just people talking to each other. Nothing else. He and Brian Acton started building it from scratch. No office. No investors. No team. Just the two of them and the thing they both believed in. They launched in mid-2009. The app was free. No ads. Ever. Full stop. And the world responded. WhatsApp didn't grow. It erupted. Word of mouth. Country to country. Because it solved a real problem for real people in the real world. In India, where SMS was expensive. In Brazil, where families needed to stay connected. In Pakistan, Nigeria, Spain, Germany, wherever international communication was hard and overpriced, WhatsApp became essential overnight. And Jan didn't spend a single dollar on marketing. Not one. By 2014, WhatsApp had 450 million active users. 1 million new users. Every single day. Facebook noticed. Then Google noticed. The two biggest tech companies on the planet went to war over a two-man messaging app built by a Ukrainian immigrant who used to sweep grocery store floors. Google offered $10 billion. Facebook outbid them. $19 billion. Cash and stock. The largest acquisition in tech history at that time. On the day the deal was signed, Jan Koum did something nobody expected. He didn't sign it at Facebook's campus. Not at a lawyer's office. Not in a boardroom. He drove his co-founder and his investor to a plain, unremarkable building in Mountain View, California. The same welfare office where he used to stand in line as a teenager. Food stamps in hand. His mother beside him. Wondering how they were going to get through the month. He signed the $19 billion deal on those exact same front steps. He didn't say much about it publicly. He didn't need to. The image said everything. From that doorstep to that doorstep. 22 years. From food stamps to $19 billion. In the same city. On the same street. Jan Koum never ran ads on WhatsApp. He said it felt like a betrayal of his users' trust. He eventually left Facebook in 2018 when they started pushing to monetize the platform. He walked away from billions more. Today, over 2 billion people use WhatsApp. The man who built it taught himself to code from donated library books. Swept floors at a grocery store to survive. Got rejected by the company that later paid him $19 billion. And signed the deal on the steps of a welfare office. Jan Koum didn't have connections. Didn't have money. Didn't have a famous name or a famous family. He had a problem he needed to solve. And he refused to stop until he solved it. That's the real story of WhatsApp. And the man behind it that most people have never heard of.